Hello. Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Doc. Diaz here, a founder and owner of Greenwood Dental. I wanted to drop this video because a lot of you has been asking me about the vaccine. So I have a confession to make. I did take the COVID-19 vaccine. I got Moderna, and there is two stories behind it. So let's plunge in, shall we? The first story is, first of all, again, I have to admit that I was very skeptical about the vaccine, how fast it came out. And one needs to understand that where I come from, the Middle East, we had a lot of different seasonal pandemics due to the pilgrimage season. And what that meant is we had a lot of incoming pathogen and diseases that we were never seen from Africa, India, and China as the pilgrims for the holy month of Hajj, or even holy month of Ramadan. They just came in the millions to Saudi Arabia. Now, I was born in Jeddah. Jeddah is on the West Coast, and it's the largest port in the Islamic world as far as, worshippers are concerned. So they used to port in Jeddah, and then they get checked in, customs and all that, and then they get bused to Mecca, the holy places, for like 2 weeks. So we used to get a lot of a royal declaration on TV that, oh, we're dealing with so-and-so pandemic. We have scheduled the rollout of vaccines in 2 weeks. Line them up. So we line up in front of hospitals and we get injected because we don't want to get sick. So those vaccines now, come and think of it, they were rolled out really fast, and I have no idea where Saudi Arabia got it from. Probably got it from Germany or France or the UK, because Saudi Arabia didn't have that kind of resources or the technologies. So that said, when the COVID-19, obviously COVID as a disease, is very scary. It affected all our lives, so I'm not going to get into that. But when it came out, I'm like, this was really quick. Well, it wasn't really quick, but just the past feeling of being like rushed to get vaccine. I'm like, ooh, it kind of like stalled me. And my husband has a PhD in chemistry, and he has been researching the heck out of it, and I trust him 100% because data speaks for itself, and he belongs to this group of like MD chat support from all over the world, very, very accredited people, and the scientists know what they're talking about. So he took it New Year's Eve. So one of the things we did is I said, okay, whoever is interested in taking it, or compromise, or you think they need it, let's just take turns that way, because we don't know much of the adverse effects yet earlier in January. Let's take turns 2 at a time, so we're not all down with adverse effect or side effect at the same time, because I don't feel like going through shutting down again. So by the time it got my turn, I was given at the end of April to get vaccinated, which is fine. I said, you know what, we're still going through my associated maternity leave. We're going through rescheduling or adapting to the new schedule, and I said, that's fine. But 2 days after that, I got a phone call from the New Hampshire health department. And honestly, to be very honest with you, I thought that it was a hoax. I answered. I said, they said, are you so-and-so? This is your information. We see you have an appointment at the end of April, you're a healthcare worker. But the state of New Hampshire has rolled out vaccines to the Walgreens pharmacy in the city of Nashua, 3 of them. And if you want to move up, you want to get their vaccine earlier. I was again skeptical. I said, sure, I can move. So I went from April 29th to February 12th. And, and they said, just show up. We have your information, all that. And so I called my husband and I said, hey, listen, I know we have registered through VAMS, which is the national nationwide base for my vaccine, but the New Hampshire health department just called me and they moved me to February 12th. And he said, well, you know what? We haven't gotten an email that canceled the end of April. Let's just keep that and we'll show up. If they give it to you, they give it to you. So I went and showed up at Walgreens, and sure enough, down the street from me. And, I got the vaccine. So I was worried because I was going through menopause. I have to admit, and I was worried about, and I talked to my doctor a lot about this, and I'm worried about, since you're menopause, you're constantly in the inflammatory process, and giving the vaccine, since it's a new technology, I wasn't sure if that's going to push my body into like autoimmune response. That was my, my concern, because, what if like I'm down, and there's nobody else can cover it. Like I said, my associate maternity leave, and it's really, critical time right now. So, but I took the first shot, and my experience with that, my arm, it took about like 4 hours to get sore. And then 24 hours after the shot, I had that migraine, that nausea, feeling, that fatigue feeling. And that lasted probably about 8 hours. And then, so that was Saturday. And then Sunday, I was fine. My arm was gone. The soreness of my arm was gone. It was really bad. Like, it was down to my elbow. I couldn't even extend my arm. But of course I read about it, and I read the side effects and all that, but to the T. It is a very, I have to say, and I have to give credit when credit is due, that it's very, very well engineered vaccine. I had a lot of vaccines. Again, living in the Middle East, I had diphtheria, malaria. I should be glowing in the dark from vaccines. But this, I never experienced anything like that. I had a horrible experience with the flu vaccine. I haven't taken the flu vaccine for 10 years because I kept developing bronchitis in every single year since, I think, senior year in dental school up to 2000, I would say 6. And I ended up with 3 years of asthma. So I was concerned about that too. Like, what if it triggers my asthma? But this was really well engineered. You can feel, at least me, you can feel every stage of the vaccine. So that was good. I was like, all right, that's fine. And, I called my doctor. I said, you know what, I'm not sure I'm okay with the first dose, but I don't know if the second dose is going to be real worse. Can I have an inhaler just in case? And so I can, feel better about just in case I get like restricted. So, and I felt, interesting enough, so that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Wednesday, I felt like $1,000,000. I don't know how to explain it. I felt like so energetic and laser focused, and my eyes could, it's weird. I'm not, by all means, I'm not promoting anything. I'm not merching anything. I'm just saying that for somebody who was really skeptical and was so paranoid about it, I was very impressed. So the second dose I took a month later. I had Moderna, and it was a different response. So my arm got a sore within 2 hours, and it was just a soreness around the injection site. It wasn't down to my elbow. 2 hours within the shot, I felt it immediately. 6 hours after the shot, my symptoms started, which the first sign was the migraine. I was like, oh, here we go, brace yourself. So it was by the book. So it was the migraine, the headaches, the nausea, the chills, very, very, very low grade fever. I don't break into fevers that easily. And then the just achiness, the body aches. That lasted exactly 24 hours. So it was 11 o'clock Friday night, 11 o'clock Saturday night, my headache was gone. Now, I didn't take Tylenol, grant you, like other people did before. I just took extended migraine. And the headaches were pounding. So it was by the book to the T, which is, that tells you, proof to me, the immaculate engineering in that vaccine. Again, I'm not promoting it. I'm just giving you my experience. I'm confessing that I took it. I'm confessing that I was skeptical. I was really paranoid. I was pacing. I was like, what if something happens to me? But now, after the fact, let me say this. I would take the COVID vaccine 100 times over than to get sick with COVID. I had a very, very, very close friend of mine that had COVID, suffered a lot. He's fine. Thank God he pulled right through. But it was horrifying. It was very, very scary. It was very too close to home, the hit. And he didn't end up in a hospital, but he was on a lot of medications. He was a nebulizer. He was on inhaler. He's healthy. He's very athletic. He's young. He's like 43 years old. And we're like, oh my God, like this is for real. So, so this is one spike protein. So let me just explain something. So this is one spike protein. So every virus is covered with many, 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 I don't know how many spike proteins. And that gets multiplied into your cell and spits out many of those viruses that carry many of the spike proteins. So I can't even imagine. I honestly, if I got sick, I don't think I would have made it, not with my history of asthma and respiratory. So I'm glad I took it. It's over. I just want to share my experience. And then because a lot of you guys are asking me whether I've taken it, how I felt, what do I think. A lot of my patients are, especially my young patients are, worried. My father-in-law, who's 85, he took Pfizer, he's fine. And I noticed that with older patients, they have much, much, much less side effects. So I hope that helps. I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of you have been asking, have been wondering. So here's my confession today. So we love you, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next confession. NDS out.